League lovers, hello and welcome to our latest episode of The Game Plan. I'm Zac Bailey, joined by our expert analyst in Anthony Seibold. Round one, we've been waiting for footy for so long, Seibs, and you've highlighted a trend for our viewers, our rugby league lovers, to look out for this weekend. But before we get to now, let's rewind to 2013.
Yeah, we're going back in time here. We're going to have a look at an attacking shape that was probably most prominent throughout the 2010s. And we're going to see some really big names here. We're going to see Cronk, we're going to see Thurston, Greg Inglis, Darius Boyd. But essentially what I want to try and identify is this. I want to show you some defending players to start with. So we've got our winger here, we've got our centre who we call two-in defender, and we've got Mitch Pearce there as a halfback who we call three-in defender. Back in 2013, what teams are trying to do is hold up this defender here. And they do that by sending an edge back row at his inside shoulder, trying to create, on the end of the shape, a 1, 2, 3 versus 2 situation. So I'll let this play through. Darius Boyd scores in the corner.
And this still hurts Blues fans, Seibs. He scored so many tries against the Blues. All right, let's fast forward to 2020, the back end of last year. What's the current trend in the modern game?
Yeah, so I spoke about the trend at the time was trying to hold up three-in defenders. We fast forward to 2020 here, and this is Parramatta running some great shape against the West Tigers. I'll let this play through again. I want to identify a couple of defenders to start with here. All right, so again, we'll look at our winger, our two-in defender, which is our centre, and our halfback, which we call three-in defender. Again, have a look at the Parramatta Eels shape here. Hold it here. What they're trying to do, they're trying to hold up the two-in defender, which is really different to the 2013 clip that we just showed. And what they're trying to do is create a 1-2 situation versus one defender at the back of that shape.
Blake Ferguson going over in the corner for a rare try in 2020, but it works, it's effective, and they weren't the only side doing it.
Yeah, most teams are trying to hold up two-in defenders. I want you to have a look at round one, how line breaks are achieved. You'll see a lot of the times it's off the back of this shape here. So let's go to South Sydney. They're one of the best teams in the competition in attack at the moment.
Okay, up against the same defensive unit in the West Tigers.
Yeah, same team defending. It's the West Tigers. So again, back in 2020, I want to point out a couple of defenders again. This is the winger, this is the centre who we call two-in defender, that's the halfback there, we call him three-in defender. What the number 4 for the Rabbitohs is trying to do is hold up that defender there. Again, trying to create a 1-2 versus 1 situation out the back of the shape.
Okay, if we play this through, Reynolds onto Walker, onto Campbell Graham in the corner. It worked for the Bunnies at the back end of this year. They've hit the ground running this year. They're one of the premiership favourites, and they showed why in the Charity Shield.
Yeah, so not a lot changed in the Charity Shield game. They scored 46 points, some brilliant attacking shape, built off the back of Walker, Latrell Mitchell, Adam Reynolds. This is one of the shapes. You'll see it's on the other side of the field this time against the Dragons. So again, I'm not real concerned about what they're doing on the inside here, just looking at the trend of how they're trying to create line breaks on the back of the shape.
So it's all about the result out wide, and it's all about exposing the second man in.
It is, and you'll see there's Ramsey as a winger, there's Lomax as a two-in defender, there's Ben Hunt as a three-in defender. They're trying to, as I said before, hold this defender up here to create a 2v1 situation at the back of the shape.
Play this through, goes on to Reynolds. There's that lead runner in Gagai going through, and Cody Walker can do it all himself, but they still created that extra man out wide.
Yeah, so what they're trying to do, as I said before, they're trying to hold up this defender here, which is Zach Lomax in this case. It was Dane Gagai who went through there on the lead, creates a 2v1, Ramsey overreads it, Cody Walker, he's too good there, gets over the try line. Okay,
so if it works for the Bunnies, no doubt it can work for other teams in 2021.
Yeah, so an interesting trend in the trial games I picked up. A lot of the same shapes that were really effective at the back end of last year are now being exposed, I suppose, by different teams in the trials. And this is one example of the Cowboys versus the Broncos 2 weeks ago at Redcliffe.
So under a new coach in Todd Payten, who was with the Warriors last year, no doubt sat back, watched examples like the Bunnies and try to implement the same attacking style for his new team.
Yeah, they've tried to do exactly the same shape on the end of the attacking shape by holding up the two-in defender. So again, let's have a look at that defender there. That's Tessie Newey, who's the right centre for the Broncos in this particular trial. You'll see the number 20 for the Cowboys go through there to try and turn in Tessie Newey. Again, what they're trying to do is create a 2v1 situation on the end of the shape. Now, that's Val Holmes, okay? The number 4 for the Cowboys is playing on the wing. Again, great attacking shape on the end of the line there. 2v1 versus Xavier Coates. Cowboys score in the corner.
And if you're Todd Payton watching that in a trial, do you sit back going, how good? This is what we've worked and sweated our backsides off at training in Townsville all year for.
Yeah, it was the first time the Cowboys had an opportunity in a game situation to I suppose, put on some of their new shapes that Todd's been working with the team with over that pre-season.
All right, the Melbourne Storm were premiers last year, and rightfully so. They have some of the best attacking shape and some of the best playmakers in the game to execute that.
Yeah, think about Munster, think about Harry Grant this year, think about Pappenhausen. This is a shape that was really effective for them last year. And again, they're playing against the Bunnies here. Wide field position shape. So again, I'm not real concerned about what they're doing in here. What I am concerned about is who they're trying to hold up. Now, they're trying to hold up, again, that's the winger, that's the two-in defender. They're trying to hold up that two-in defender here by getting a 2v1 or a 3v1 situation on the end of the shape.
All right, we just named a couple of these guys. It goes on to Munster, goes flat-ish there to Ryan Pappenhausen. And again, they're trying to create that extra number out wide.
So there's Justin Olam taking the inside shoulder of the centre there for the Bunnies, which leaves only one defender there for the Bunnies. And you can see here, there's Kenny Bromwich, there's Addo Carr, 2v1 situation. They're too good on the end of the shape. Pappenhausen, fantastic in support through the middle third of the field. There's 4 points for the Melbourne Storm.
The Fox down the sideline, we've seen it so much, and that man Ryan Pappenhausen backing up on the inside. So the Storm have been a bit of a bogey side for the Parramatta Eels in recent years. So Brad Arthur again used to be in that system. You know him pretty well as well. They've adopted a similar style, and you saw it in their trial against the Panthers.
Yeah, so closer up vision here. But again, think of Pappenhausen and exchange him for Clint Gutherson. Think of Cameron Munster, exchange him for Mitchell Moses here. So again, really effective shape by the Eels a couple of weeks ago in their trial against the Penrith Panthers. Okay, I'm just going to hold it up here. So there is Mitchell Moses. There is Clint Gutherson. If I take that back a little bit, what they're trying to do is hold up this defender here, which is Paul Momirovski. All right, they're trying to create a 2v1 out the back of shape. Now, have a look at the number 12 for Parramatta Eels. Think of the last clip. That was Kenny Bromwich. This time it's Ryan Madison.
That lead runner flies through and it creates an extra man on the outside.
And there's Seibold on the outside. Penrith Panthers, good scramble D. But again, you can see how short pass from Mitch Moses to Clint Gutherson. Running leads inside 2 inch, create some space there for Ryan Madison. And when you got Seibold on the wing, well, anything's possible. All
right, live sport, unpredictable. You cannot have a predictable attacking style in rugby league, especially at the highest level in the NRL, otherwise you'll be caught out. So they don't always take that outside option. So let's look at a couple of different ways that the Panthers executed a similar play or that play last year.
Yeah, two really good examples, okay. This is in the same game, the same half of football. So again, I'll let this one play through. Again, I want to identify a couple of defenders in the Parramatta Eels team first of all. So I want to identify Ferguson. He's the winger. Wonga Blake's the two-in defender or the centre. And there's Mitch Moses, who's the halfback or the three-in defender. One of the things I notice about Blake Ferguson in this clip is his positioning. He's what I call step back. He's a couple of metres behind Wonga Blake. Ideally, he's where you put the line there, Zach. That's where you would want him to be, because what Penrith are trying to do, if we play it through, they're trying to hold up that defender there, which is Wonga Blake. You can see there, edge back rower leading inside the centre there. They're trying to create, well, this time it's actually a 1, 2, 3 attacking situation versus one defender here who gets caught up. So great attacking shape by the Penrith Panthers. But again, holding up Wonga Blake, Blake Ferguson not quite in position, and they create the space on the end of the line.
So that's great play from the Panthers. If it wasn't for a dodgy pass from Crichton to Josh Mansour at the end, it could have been try time in the corner. A tense match. But again, they're not always going to go out the back. That's an example of what we've seen. This is the alternate option for a playmaker in Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, so same half, a little bit later in that particular half. Now, this is why Blake Ferguson's been an elite winger for a long time. So he's corrected himself here.
So Brad Arthur at half-time, if he had his chance or even got the walkie-talkie in, what would his message to have Blake Ferguson been after that first example?
Yeah, you can't be stepped back on the end of the line there. So again, let's look at Ferguson. He's the winger. There's Wonga Blake as the two-in defender. There's Mitch Moses as the three-in defender. So very similar shape here. You can see Kickout's trying to hold up Wonga Blake. But again, good wingers do this. I'll just identify him. This time he's on the end of the line. Last time he was back in that position there, okay, and he was too late to jam on the ball player there.
So if we freeze it here, it looks like Parramatta at this stage have done everything right. So if you're Brad Arthur, you've gone, right, Blake Ferguson, I'm happy with you because you're where you're meant to be, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a successful defensive read.
Yeah, so Wonga Blake probably thought about the same situation. It's the same shape earlier in the half and thought they went out the back. I'm going to go and try and help Blake here. But what you need to do, we talk about defenders protecting their inside shoulder. So the way that I would coach Wonga Blake is he would protect his inside shoulder on kick out in that situation. You can see here though, he moves out. It's only a very slight movement. And Nathan Cleary, why he's one of the elite ball players in the game is this. We spoke about eyes up football last week. He identifies that Wonga Blake just leans out there.
So when you say lean out, is it because he's got his eyes on Jerome Luai? He's afraid that they're going to go out the back again and create space out wide?
Yeah, they made a line break on the previous shape we showed you there, which was earlier in the half. Blake Ferguson, great job correcting his start position in defence. Wonga Blake, though, thought, you know what, I'm going to help Fergo out here. They created a 3v1 on the end of the shape. So I'm going to go and help there first, but you've got to do your first job first as a defender. As a centre there, he needs to check his inside shoulder on kick out, who's a big, strong, powerful human being. But great vision there by Cleary. You can see there. Good scramble, okay, by Parramatta Eels, but great line break achieved by running a lead runner inside the two-in defender.
All right, great work there from the Eels in defence. Great work in attack from Nathan Cleary playing eyes up footy. Great analysis from you, Seibs, as always. Plenty to look forward to in round one. Make sure when you're watching the footy this weekend, think about this. Watch for those modern trends.